In the mid-2000s, one device was the undisputed king of mobile. It wasn't just a phone, it was a status symbol. Wielded by presidents, CEOs, and celebrities, its name was BlackBerry, and its grip on the world felt unbreakable. They owned 50% of the US smartphone market. They were on top of the world. So, what went wrong? It wasn't a single event, but a single, fatal philosophy. A strategic mistake so profound it rendered them obsolete. They saw the future coming, but arrogantly believed they were immune to it. Today, we are decoding BlackBerry and the fatal mistakes that cost them the entire smartphone war. To understand the fall, we must first appreciate the climb. BlackBerry, then called RIM, wasn't just selling a product. They were selling an addiction. Crackberry, they called it. The irresistible urge to check emails and messages instantly. Their secret weapon was a fortress of security. BBM and their enterprise servers were impenetrable. Corporations and governments trusted them with their most sensitive data. This was their kingdom. The physical keyboard was their crown jewel, a tool for serious people, for getting work done efficiently. Touchscreens were seen as toys, unreliable, imprecise, and not suited for the corporate world. In the boardroom, co-CEOs Mike Lazaridis and Jim Balsillie were legends, the engineer and the businessman. Their strategy was clear. Focus on the enterprise, secure the professionals, and the consumer market would follow. For years, this strategy wasn't just working, it was dominant. It seemed infallible. They built an empire on the foundations of security, efficiency, and the undeniable appeal of that keyboard. But the ground beneath their empire was about to shift in a way they could never have predicted. Because in California, a rival was thinking not about what a phone was, but what it could be. January 9th,
we are not just holding a device.
Steve Jobs walks onto a stage and unveils a device with no physical keyboard. The iPhone. It was a widescreen iPod, a revolutionary phone, and a breakthrough internet communicator. Back at BlackBerry headquarters, the reaction was not panic. It was disbelief and mockery.
This is unbelievable.
It's a toy, they thought. The touchscreen keyboard is a gimmick. The battery life is a joke. They couldn't imagine a world where a toy could threaten their secure, professional ecosystem. Their fatal mistake wasn't ignoring the iPhone. It was fundamentally misunderstanding why it was revolutionary. BlackBerry saw a battle of hardware specifications. Apple was launching a war of user experience and software ecosystems. While BlackBerry obsessed over email compression and battery life, Apple delivered the entire internet into your pocket. The market began to shift. Consumers, not corporations, were suddenly driving the demand. People were bringing their personal iPhones to work, challenging the corporate standard. BlackBerry's response was slow and misguided. They launched the BlackBerry Storm, a touchscreen device, without Wi-Fi. They were trying to fight the new war using the old rules, and they were about to be outflanked. The iPhone's true Trojan Horse wasn't its touchscreen. It was the App Store, launched in 2008. Suddenly, a phone was no longer just a communication device. It was a portal to endless functionality. This was the paradigm shift BlackBerry was blind to. They saw phones as tools. Apple saw them as platforms. Developers flocked to Apple's open, profitable ecosystem. The App Store became a vibrant digital city. BlackBerry's own app world, launched later, felt like a deserted town in comparison. Their fatal mistake solidified here. They believed the keyboard and security were enough to keep their kingdom loyal. They failed to understand that the definition of utility had changed from efficient typing to access to everything. Android's arrival supercharged this trend. Google created another massive open ecosystem for developers. BlackBerry was now trapped between two giants, fighting a two-front war they were completely unprepared for. Their market share began to plummet. The crackberry addiction was being cured by a new addiction to apps. They tried to adapt, launching phones like the Torch, which had both a touchscreen and a keyboard. But these were compromised devices, a clumsy attempt to be two things at once, mastering neither. The world had moved on. The sleek all-screen slab had won the design war. Their core identity, the physical keyboard, had gone from being their greatest asset to their heaviest anchor. They were chained to a past that was no longer relevant. In 2011, they made another critical error, the BlackBerry Playbook tablet. It launched without a native email client or calendar, the very things BlackBerry was famous for. It was a spectacular failure, a clear sign that the company had lost its way completely. Their final desperate attempt was BlackBerry 10, a modern operating system launched in 2013. By all accounts, it was a good OS, but it was far too little, far too late. The app gap was now an insurmountable chasm. No Instagram, no Snapchat, limited support for major apps. The king was officially dethroned. The company began bleeding money and laying off thousands of employees. In 2016, BlackBerry announced it would stop making its own phones, outsourcing the hardware to partners. The war was over. The once mighty empire had fallen, reduced to a software and security company. So what was the fatal mistake? It was a corporate arrogance, a refusal to accept a changing reality. They fatally defined their business by what they made, a secure device with a keyboard, not by why people used it. When the definition of connecting and doing more changed from email to apps, they were left behind. The lesson is timeless. Loyalty is to the solution, not the tool. The moment your tool is no longer the best solution, you're in danger. They didn't fail because the iPhone was better. They failed because they refused to believe a different future was possible. Their story is the ultimate cautionary tale in the tech world. Innovate or become a memory.